Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the award winning Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love, consulting the cards and matters of the heart. And I just got a new shipment of these books in, so they're available for signed copies at my website, ElliotOracle.com, if that interests you. It is time for this week's Oracle Reveal. So earlier today on Instagram, I placed up a photo of 3 different animals, and I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal's calling to you, because that animal has your message. And the animals were the boar, the seagull, and the manatee. So if you're just joining me now, ask yourself which animal's calling to you, and that animal will have a message for you. And also, I just want to thank you all for your patience over the last couple of weeks. I was in the UK and had the most wonderful trip, so my batteries are all recharged, and I am excited to get into readings again. So time to get back to work. So, for those of you who picked the boar, the card says face your problems head on with confidence and courage, and you will emerge victorious. And Boar is teaching us that medicine of confronting the thing we're avoiding. Whenever we avoid something or make a rationalization for it or just try to kind of close our ears off to it, it saps away personal power. And so this could be a week where you're really just confronting honestly that thing that's been nagging at you and confront it, deal with it. You're going to feel empowered again. You're going to feel like you're able to make a breakthrough. So don't procrastinate anymore. First card for Boar is where it's best for you to place your focus. And there we got the Fool card. And he's all about just taking the plunge. Sometimes we get paralyzed with making something work in our lives because we're afraid we're going to look stupid. We're afraid we don't know what we're doing, or we're afraid of making a mistake. And the lesson of the fool is that he doesn't care if he makes a mistake. He doesn't even care if he looks like a fool. He dives into the unknown. The fool is the archetype of freedom in the tarot. And the best thing you can do is set yourself free from that fear of failure or of embarrassing yourself or just letting people know what your true intentions and heart are all about. And so I feel for the boar, one of the things that's really going to help you confront the issue you're avoiding is to not be afraid of failing at it, but instead to just go for it. And also know that you're still learning. The fool is the fool because he doesn't know something yet. And yet he needs to take the chance. He needs to take the plunge. And so do you. The next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom. And for the boar, we got the Queen of Pentacles. And she's also about productivity. She's focused on the coin in her lap. She's focused on the long game. Her garden is not quite in full bloom, and yet she's not bothered by that. She's focused on the task at hand. And she's always accompanied by that little rabbit in the corner of the card, which can represent anxiety, nervous energy. And so what you're going to want to do is just divert your attention away from the anxiety, or divert your attention away from what's causing the fear or the paralysis in your mind, and instead place your focus on what the task is in front of you. I'm also feeling like this is going to be a time where things are coming into focus. They're coming in clearly. And now finally, all that patience that you've been having will pay off if you take the initiative. And then the mythic archetype that's going to help you if you pick the boar is Atropos. She is the eldest of the 3 fates. She's the one who cuts the string of life. And what she remembers, or what she reminds us of, is endings, finishing something, completing something. There is also a sense that if you're really paralyzed right now with getting started on something, it might be because you haven't ended the last thing. And so Atropos could be saying it's time to bring closure to the thing that you're in limbo about, the thing that you're really concerned about from the past. And it's time instead to focus on the future, focus on what your next best opportunity is. Although it can be difficult to end something because there's a sense of finality or permanence with it, I really feel with the optimistic card of the Fool and the Queen of Pentacles that all will blossom in the end. Next, we're going to go into the Seagull spirit, and this card says, now it is time for deep emotional healing. And the seagull glides above the ocean. And water, the ocean, in tarot and symbolism, it reminds us of our deeper feelings. And our feelings are undercurrents that are totally affecting our life and how we're able to appreciate it or fully enjoy it or not. And so this is a time to tune inward. It might also be a time to get a bird's eye view of what your own emotions are carrying and to really place your focus on what needs to be brought to the surface at this time for healing. Because when we're allowing ourselves to feel our feelings, it can be very cathartic. It can feel like finally that thing that's been gripping at me, it's loosening its grip. I'm able to really process and change. First card for Seagull is where it's best to place your focus. And look at that, we got the Empress herself. And the Empress is that mother goddess archetype who is in the garden and she's whispering in your ear. It's all working out just as it should. And it's time to really just let things grow organically for you at this time. The Empress is also the archetype of abundance. So if you're worried about something, if you feel like you're lacking in something, the Empress is just smiling at you and saying, that's ridiculous. You have all that you need. Plenty is on the way still and is still coming. And so this could be a time when you're really getting relaxed in yourself. The Empress is also the Queen of Queens in the tarot. She doesn't chase after something to work. She sits back in her throne and she lets it come to her. So this could be a time where you're really just allowing things to come to you. The advice from your inner wisdom is the King of Wands reversed. And when the King of Wands comes up reversed, he can indicate that this is a time where you might be forgetting your competency. You might be forgetting what actually makes you a survivor or how capable you actually are. The King of Wands reverse could indicate that it's time to seek out wise counsel. And this could be from a trusted friend or people that know you or people that can even see your blind spots. And that might help you get back on track and release some of this tension and fear that the Empress is really talking about. And then finally, we got the mythic archetype that's going to help you if you pick the Seagull, and how appropriate we have Poseidon, the god of the sea. In fact, when I was a kid growing up, if I saw a seagull, I remember the movie Clash of the Titans, and I used to think it was Poseidon in the sky looking down at me. He was kind of watching out for things. I feel for Poseidon, he is directly linked with those deep emotional undercurrents. And whatever that deep emotional undercurrent is for you, that's undermining your self confidence, it's time to bring that to the surface and allow that healing to happen by silently accepting it with the smile of the Empress. And then finally, we have the Manatee. And this animal card says, accept the situation as it is rather than fighting to change it. And Manatee can teach us the magic of acceptance. Sometimes if we're really hell-bent on seeing something go a certain way, we can be really rigid. We can also feel very demanding that everything goes according to the plan. And it's almost like we're getting up and we're getting tense and we're getting ready to fight. And Manatee is just saying, it's time to release that. It's time to just accept it. The Manatee goes with the current. He goes with the flow. So this could be a time as well where you're just following that natural current and you're not doing a battle with the river. First card for Manatee is where it's best to place your focus, and we got the World card. And this is the culmination of the major arcana in the tarot. Something's coming to completion for you. You've come full circle. This is a card of graduation, really leveling up, taking that next important step. Also, the World is a card of getting out into the world and really just allowing yourself to fully embrace all the wonders and opportunities that are out there instead of getting trapped in your head or stuck in your expectations. I also feel with the Manatee and the World card that something is naturally coming to a close. You don't have to force it. Just let it sort of glide towards that positive result. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you pick the Manatee, is a perfect card, the Two of Pentacles. Here we see the juggler in front of the wavy waters. And this is to illustrate that life is going to send you waves. The Two of Pentacles is a card of unpredictability. And so there's always going to be something that comes out of left field that you didn't expect. And yet you want to follow the advice of the juggler who isn't fighting the waves, but instead he's just kind of taking it all in stride. He's flexible, he's adaptable. It almost looks like he has an elastic quality to him. So he's able to bend so he doesn't break. And so for Manatee, I feel the same for you. It's time to really be flexible and fluid and follow that natural flow, even if there's a divine detour or unexpected event. And the mythic archetype that's going to help you is Themis and Nemesis. It's the twin goddesses of justice and balance and also divine retribution. There's a karmic theme here, and it's basically saying that what you've put into the universe is what you're going to get out of it. So now you need to go with the flow. And that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can schedule a reading with me at elliotoracle.com. Otherwise, I'll see you again here next week, and do take care.